Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Excuse me. I got like some junk in my throat. Yeah, this is week 11 as far as baby updates are concerned. As you know from the post that I just made on, what was it, Wednesday, I think? I thought I was at like 8 weeks on Wednesday, not Wednesday, but for last week, but it got filmed for Wednesday. All kinds of confusing, I know. Anyways, went to the doctor and came to find out I was 10 weeks. That was last week. So this week I'm 11 weeks. And yeah. Next week I have another doctor's appointment. It'll be my 12-week doctor's appointment, and I think I'll be getting my first ultrasound. I'm not really like for sure on that, but I think that's what happens. As for this week though, this week has been kind of like a roller coaster of like up and downs. Like, first off, I quit my job. Like, I went to work on Monday and there was a new kid there, and he was, I don't want to get super into all of this because I'm going to do like a whole story time video on exactly why I quit my job. But there was a new kid there and I just knew that I couldn't handle him. We'll just leave it at that. There was no way I was going to be able to handle this kid. And so I went on Tuesday and I was like, I'm sorry, but I quit. Like, I had already put in my 2-week notice, but there was no way I was going to make it till the 18th was going to be my last. It'd be next Friday, so I think it'd be the 18th. But there's no way with this kid that I was going to be able to last that long. And like I said, I'll do like a whole story time video explaining why I quit my job if you're interested in all the details. So that happened, which I found that since quitting my job, like, my stress level has just come way down, which is very good for me and for the baby. I knew I was getting stressed out at work, but I didn't realize how stressed out I was getting at work until I quit. And then, like, it was just all gone, and I was like, you know, just like I could breathe. So that was good. As far as this week being a roller coaster, I mean that as far as like my morning sickness goes. In my emotions, on Sunday this past weekend, like, I just cried for like half of Sunday evening for no reason. And Mike came in and was like holding me because I was laying in bed crying, and he's like, what is wrong? I can't fix it if you don't tell me what's wrong. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong. I have no reason to be crying. But I'm just like sobbing, and like I couldn't stop. But for the most part, my issues up until I quit was like over the weekend and a little bit like on Monday and such, it was like anger issues. I was just getting so angry for like no reason whatsoever, and I just felt like this ball of anger in my chest. So I went between like being super pissed at nothing, I had no reason to be mad, but I just felt angry, to like uncontrollable sobbing, which, excuse me, I have cried twice. Like, just broke down and started crying for no reason this week. Sunday being one of them, and then again on, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Which, Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it was that I cried again, that wasn't like as bad as Sunday. Like, Sunday was like uncontrollable sobbing for like 3 hours. Like, and then on Tuesday or Wednesday, it's like I cried a little bit for 5 or 10 minutes. It wasn't much. And then I was like all good. And then, but like since I've quit my job, like the anger issues seem to really have dissipated, except for, was it Wednesday, I think? Oh man, I wanted Subway's soup in the worst way. Like, I love their soup, like their potato soup and their broccoli cheddar soup. Like, I'm good for some Subway, like, soup in general. And we were going to have pork chops at night, and I was like, look, if you want to make the pork chops, it's Mike. I was like, if you want to make the pork chops, because he's like really good at cooking meat. So if you want to cook the pork chops, I'm going to run on the street and get us some soup from Subway, because it just sounds really good. Well, like, I sat in the Subway line for like 10 minutes on hold. Like, the girl like greeted me in the, like, I went through the drive-thru, and so like she came on the intercom and greeted me and was like, I'm going to have to put you on hold, I'll be back in a minute. I waited there for like 5 or 10 minutes, and while I was waiting there, I was just getting like more and more angry. And then the guy comes on and asks what I want, and I'm like, what kind of soup do you guys have today? And he's like, we're out of soup, sorry. Like, I about ripped his head off. And I know that's like completely irrational. It's not his fault they'd be out of soup. It's like 7 o'clock at night at this point. So I think Subway closes at like, what, 8 or 9? And it's like middle of December. It's cold outside. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people going to Subway just to get soup. So it's not that surprising that they were run out. But I was so angry and livid that I sat there for 10 minutes for them to tell me that there was no soup. And I was more pissed that there was no soup. And I about ripped his head off. Like, it took everything in me just to say thanks and drive away. Like, oh, I was mad. And again, like, I know it's completely irrational. Like, there's no reason for me to be that mad because Subway's out of soup. But it's what I was craving, and I didn't get any soup. I was so pissed. So I went to this little tiny local grocery store that's on our street, thinking, okay, well, I'll just get like a can of Progresso soup or something. They had like the shittiest soup selection. It was like chicken and wild rice or something, like peel off rice, or I don't know, it's like that brown rice that has like the shell on it type stuff. And then they had like beef broth, and I don't know, it was like stupid soup. Like, who wants to eat that? Like, not me. It's not high on my list of like soup choices. So I picked up a box of potatoes au gratin, and again, like, I was so mad. I about flipped out on the cash register attendant. And he was a nice guy. Like, and I've been in there before. He's always been super helpful, always really nice. I know it's a tiny grocery store. I know they have a very small selection. I mean, they call themselves a grocery store, but they're really more of like a convenience store that just doesn't have a gas station. Because their selections are just like that small. The only difference between this place and like a gas station is that like they have a deli counter, and they have like milk and eggs type stuff. So, but otherwise it's pretty much like a convenience store on the inside. And I was so angry that they didn't have any good soup. Like, and again, I'm telling myself, like, you know, I knew this was a good possibility that they wouldn't have anything good when I went in there. Like, calm down, you know, but I was just so angry. So my emotions have just been like a roller coaster of like everywhere, and there's like no reason to it other than the fact I'm pregnant. Like, there's no reason. And then my nausea has been everywhere. Like, I'm finding that I'm having more days now that I'm not nauseous, but then like when I do get nauseous, it's like knocks me on my ass. Like, I haven't thrown up yet, which is good, but when I do get nauseous, it's like really, really bad. Like, okay, so my mom and I went out to Hacienda yesterday to get some lunch, and we had just finished eating, and these people got set behind us when we were finishing our meal, and then we were like, we're getting ready to pay and stuff, like waiting for our waitress to bring our ticket, and they get their food, and whatever they ordered, I'm thinking it was some kind of pork, because I'm not doing very well with the smell of pork when it's like super hot and cooking. Like, it just makes me feel so sick. Like, sausage or pork chops or anything like that when it's cooking, I just about can't do it. And their food smelled so strong, it made me extremely nauseous. And so I was like, we have to leave, like, right now. Like, I was breathing through my hands, like that, trying to diffuse the smell, because it was just getting to me so badly. So as soon as we paid, I jumped up and left. Like, my mom was still sitting at the booth, and I was like, I gotta get away from this. Like, it's just so bad, I can't do it. So I get home, and I'm just like feeling super nauseous and super exhausted, which is the other thing, is like I was feeling a lot better as far as energy is concerned, but I've noticed within the last couple of days, especially yesterday, I've just been so drained of energy. Like, I spent most of yesterday sitting on the couch, and then I went out to eat with my mom, and then I came home feeling nauseous and sick, and I went and laid down at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and Mike came home at about 5:30, and I was kind of aware that he came home, kind of not, because I was like kind of in and out of it sleeping, and then I got up when he came to bed at like 9 to go use the bathroom, and then I came back and I went back to bed, and I slept in until this morning until like 8:30. Like, I pretty much slept all day yesterday. I didn't really do much of anything because I just like zero energy, just exhausted. So that's been going on, nausea and mood swings. Otherwise, I've been feeling fairly good. I do have a bit of a cold that set in, which is another reason why I quit my job. Again, I'll get like all into that in like a whole nother story for why I quit, because there was several different reasons to why I quit and put in my 2-week notice. But that new kid on Monday, he was like the breaking point. So anyways, yeah, I don't know that I have much else to say. I know this video is getting pretty long, 10 minutes already. Cravings. I have been craving Subway in like the worst way. And I've been craving it for like the last couple weeks. Like I went and got myself some Subway last week. And I just got like my normal sandwich that I always get. It's like their Black Forest ham and turkey with like lettuce, pickle, cucumber, and mayonnaise on Italian urban cheese. And I got it last week, and like the bread tasted sweet, like sweet. And the pickles were like way too vinegary, so like I couldn't hardly eat it, and it was just disgusting to me. But I kept craving it, and so yesterday, day before, I went and got Subway, and it was like the freaking best thing in the world I ever ate. To me that day, like that's the weird thing with pregnancy I've noticed, is like sometimes things taste awful that I normally like, and then a few days later, like they taste amazing and they taste good again. So I got it on, it's Friday, I got it on Wednesday, and the bread tasted extra like herby, but otherwise it was like super good, and I loved it. But I've noticed like I feel like I'm eating kind of like a toddler, because like a little bit here and there, and like I'm stuffed. So I only got myself like a 6-inch and some of their soup, and that was it. Well, like by Wednesday evening, I was craving another one of those sandwiches in the worst way, but it was like 10 o'clock at night, so Subway's closed. So my husband just like there made fun of me because I wanted it so bad. I mean, normally like if I want something, he's like up and getting it for me, but since it was closed, there's nothing you can do about it. He just like there made fun of me. So that's love, right? But I was like gung-ho yesterday on I was gonna get up and go get me another sandwich. Well, I made like a Facebook post talking about how badly I wanted Subway, and my cousin, who's also pregnant, seen it, and she kind of flipped out on me. Like I was unaware that pregnant people aren't supposed to have lunch meat. Like my doctor never really went over that with me. Granted, I didn't see my doctor, I seen the nurse last week, and she just gave me like a packet of information, and then we went over like family history, and then that was kind of it. So I got out that pack of info, and it kind of like was weird about the lunch meat. Like it kind of like on some pages said don't eat lunch meat, and other pages it was like be careful eating it, like you can, but like just be cautious. So I don't know. But my cousin kind of flipped out on me, made me feel really bad, and so like all of yesterday, like all I wanted to eat yesterday was Subway. But like I felt like I couldn't go and eat it, so I was hungry most of the day and just sitting around pouting, so I wanted Subway. And then like Mexican started sounding really good, so Mom and I went and got some Mexican from Hacienda. But yeah, so that happened. Oh, I guess it's Listeria is the thing that you might catch from eating cold deli meat, and also like soft cheeses and such. You're not supposed to eat those unless they're like steaming hot. And that's like a form of food poisoning, but it's a form of food poisoning that can transfer from the mother to the baby, and it can cause like development issues, it can cause miscarriage, it can cause a bunch of bad things. So after finding that out, it's like, and my mom, she was like, oh, I've never heard that, and I ate a ton of lunch meat with you. And then like I asked a question about it on this Facebook support group that I'm on, and it was like a half and half. It was like everybody from the UK was like, it's cool, you can eat it. And then everybody from the US was like, no, our doctors say that's bad and you can get Listeria. And then some other people who were from the US was like, yeah, you're not supposed to eat it, but my doctor was like, when was the last time you ever heard of a Listeria outbreak from lunch meat? So I kind of got like some mixed reactions from the women in the group I'm in. I'm just going to wait and ask my doctor on my next appointment and get her opinion and see what she thinks. But like Subway has been like my big craving. Like I just want Subway all the time, which kind of makes sense because what I get has, you know, everything. It's got your grain from the bread, it's got the veggies, it's got the protein from the meat, and it's got like your dairy from your cheese. Like it's kind of got everything in it. So it makes sense. Like it's kind of, I was thinking it was kind of a good thing to be eating, so I was like getting everything. So, but now I'm kind of like afraid, and I know I could get like it heated, but I hate hot lunch meat. Like unless I'm doing like a grilled cheese sandwich with some lunch meat on it, like I don't want it warm. That's just gross to me. So, I don't know. This morning, I woke up craving egg rolls, which is weird because, I mean, I like egg rolls, but it's just kind of a random, like, okay. You know, it's not something I eat often to begin with, so I was kind of like, that's random. But yeah, I think we'll go ahead and wrap this up because we're getting at like 14 minutes and there's not really a whole lot to be said. So I'll go ahead and do a belly shot. I kind of feel like I've like lost weight, though I haven't. I've gained 2 pounds so far with my pregnancy, but I haven't like, I feel like I look slimmer. I don't know. So it is me. Of course it's me. Who else would it be? That's 11 weeks. I feel like I look slimmer than I did last week. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Am I getting a bump? I mean, I'm chunky to begin with, but I don't know. I feel like down here looks a little bit rounder. And that's like frontward view. This t-shirt's so old, it's got like bleach stains on it. But, yeah. That's that. Oh, one more thing worth mentioning. I think I've started feeling the baby move. I know that a lot of people say like you can't typically feel the baby move until you're like a lot farther along, but then I've had a few people in like that support group I'm in say that they've already started feeling the baby move, and I'm pretty sure I felt it a couple of times. I felt it like twice yesterday and then once Wednesday evening, but it just felt like a little rolling nudge. It was so weird. Like, I've never felt that before. Like, I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, maybe you'll mix it up for the feeling of like gas or something. No, I've never had gas bubbles feel like that. It was completely different. So I'm chalking it up to feeling the baby move. I've heard that it can depend on where your placenta's at. Will depend on how quickly you can feel the baby move. And I don't know where my placenta's at because I haven't had an ultrasound or anything yet. But I'm pretty sure that's what that was. It was a really neat feeling, but it was so different. It was unlike anything else I'd ever felt before. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap that up here. Again, I mean, I don't know. It's just me talking a lot. Oh, and I've had a bit of a breakout, like acne all right here, so that's fun. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave me any comments down below and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys. This is now my life. He's always on top of me. Like, I'm not even zoomed in. He's just laying this close to my face. This is constant. It's Oliver, if you can't tell. Hey, buddy. He just wants to cuddle all the time. I don't know how well, if you can see any better like that. Constantly on top of me.